And good morning, Kevin Miller. Blessed to be a part of your day. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Well, breaking news here out of Eagle, Idaho. An 18-year-old student at Eagle High is facing a felony charge after investigators say he attacked another student during class. Marcus Shimchick is currently being held in the Ada County Jail on felony count of aggravated battery. The Ada County Sheriff's Office says the attack happened during an interactive classroom activity at 8:30 a.m., although the teacher at the time and another student were leading the activity. According to witnesses, Shimchick was acting up and disrupting the class, and they told him to stop, and apparently that didn't go over too well. He kept talking, investigators say, prompting the other student to ask him to quiet down for a second time. That continued on. Blah, blah, blah. At that point, according to others, Shimchick abruptly jumped out of his seat and began hitting the other teen. Other students in the room tried to break up the fight, separating Shimchick and the victim. According to the sheriff, Shimchick hit one of the students who was trying to intervene. Eagle Police Department's school resource officers, the SRO officer, took him into custody. Investigators say the first student, Shimchick Kachak, was badly hurt and left school to get medical treatment. His injuries are not known at this time. They're not considered life-threatening. The other teen hit while breaking up the fight wasn't badly hurt, according to deputies. Shimchick was booked in the Ada County Jail and is due to appear in court on Friday afternoon. If convicted, he could face up to 15 years in prison. My goodness gracious, what is going on in the schools today? You know, we had that situation at Columbia High School where we had the knifing out in the parking lot. Eagle High School, a place that we go quite a bit. Columbia High School, a place that we go quite a bit. And I don't know if people are having too much caffeine. I don't know if people are just out of hand, out of control. But this is unfortunate. I mean, an incident, folks, and this is why we all have to be very careful in our life about a lot of things. You know, there's a lot of crazy going around. There's a lot of flu going around, but there's a lot of crazy going around, right? And you know, just one decision could cost you 15 years of your life. Anyway, not very an optimistic way to start the morning, but we are taking your phone calls at 580-5436, 580-KIDO about the issues that matter to you, beloved Treasure Valley. And we decided to jump into the lieutenant governor's frame. And because, with all due respect to our friends at Idaho Reports, and we love Melissa Davlin's mother. Why? Because she listens to the program. Melissa Davlin is a outstanding reporter on that show. And they do a very good job, but not everybody gets a chance to watch taxpayer-funded television. And I know Jim from Star always makes fun of me for watching that show. And I have to tell you, I haven't watched it this year. I've taped it a few times, but I haven't watched it. I've got to dust off the old beta tapes and start watching a few of those. But there's a huge political race going on. Huge political race going on. You know, we've covered the governor's race. We've covered the congressional race, but the lieutenant governor's race, the second highest office in the state, is virtually uncovered. So at KIDOTalkRadio.com, we have our opinion poll, and we'll let you know who's winning. We'll let you vote on that, and we'll see what you think. By the way, in light of that, it's funny. There's a lot of people that seem to be turning 50 lately. Last month it was Congressman Labrador. I believe yesterday it was Dr. Alquist. And coming up in a couple weeks, it'll be yours truly. So it's great that, two of the three of us are running for governor. And it's great to be in that company. But 50, my. Amazing how time flies. So we saw the congressman when he turned 50. We saw him. We wished him a happy birthday. So happy birthday, belated birthday to Dr. Alquist as well. 50, boy, that's a lot of miles on the odometer. Remember when 50 used to be old? And now if you're 80 or 70, 50 is young. Everything is so relative. Other news of the day. Let me quickly go to our website. By the way, if you want more information about our app, you can go to KIDOTalkRadio.com and check that out as well. But I want to see who is winning in the lieutenant governor's poll right now. You've got Marv Hagedorn, Steve Yates, Janice McGeehan, Bob Nonini, and Kelly Packer. Let me see. Who is out front right now? Marv Hagedorn out in front with 34% of the vote, followed by Bob Nonini, and then it is Steve Yates, Kelly Packer, and Janice McGeehan right now at 1.8%. And I know a lot of folks are very excited about her, so we'll see how that plays out. But right now it's a toss-up between Senators Hagedorn and Nonini, followed by the former chairman of the state Republican Party, Steve Yates, Kelly Packer, and then Janice McGeehan, former state rep or senator, something like that. Ray and I would know the answer to that. Let's go to Max in Garden City, not to be confused with Drive Over Country at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Max.
Good morning, sir. I'm calling mostly about this school violence you just reported. The young fellow got into a fight, beat other people up. You know, it seems this entire school violence issue only came to the surface when we took God and authority and consequence out of the school systems. Corporal punishment worked. It provided an immediate natural consequence. Christianity, or let's just call it, the worship of God, that worked. But this has been banned from the schools. You can't pray. You can do whatever you want from primary school up. You're not punished according to the power of your sin. Then you just get worse and worse, like this psychopath who's going to be tried as an adult, I hope, and go to jail.
So what do you make of that, Max? 15 years.
Well, that's possible. It's not going to happen, but it's possible. It's possible. But again, the media is throwing that out there because it's a little more sensational and will get people's attention. It keeps you afraid. It keeps you excited. Remember, it's not their job to inform you. It's their job to entertain you and scare you.
Well, we see that all the time now, And again, you have the ne'er-do-well nitwits that take the media at their word and don't understand the words critical thinking.
I have actually heard people, I'm in my 60s, and I've heard people my age say to me, well, I read that in the paper, and they'd never lie to me. And I look at them, excuse me? You have three heads? What planet did you come from? I heard it on CNN. They can't lie. It's got to be true. Holy cow. When did my generation become so gullible? I must have missed the boat where I probably spent too much time in China. That's what I probably did. It's funny that they're more conservative than we are now. That's sad.
Well, when we go back to this, though, I mean, discipline is a big thing in China. You don't have people acting up in class, so...
Oh, no. I remember one time in our city, this is a city of about 5 million people, and a young man attacked his history teacher, just hit her with a book. That was front page news. That was on everybody's lips. That went everywhere. And he didn't even go to trial. They beat the holy stuffing out of him, 4 or 5 cops by assignment, and sent him to a place they call Gladiator School. That's a school for youthful offenders, reform school, I guess you call it in America. They're tough. If your teacher is one of the 2 highest regarded positions in the country, teachers and factory workers, and you attack one, the only thing you could do worse would be to attack a foreigner from America, Britain, or Canada. It's insane. We need to leave corporal punishment in, and we need to get God back into our school.
You're right. It comes down to there is no consequence.
Exactly. I mean, if you decide, you know what, I'm going to start throwing some F-bombs and N-bombs out over the radio. I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to do what I want to do. And you do it. You're going to pay for it. You're going to lose your job. When a student attacks another student or coming to school 18 years old, that's not a child anymore. And he's big enough to kill with those hands. When the student goes crazy like that, he's probably been doing this all of his life and never gotten more than a slap on the wrist.
Well, what would be the appropriate punishment
for this one?
Mm-hmm.
I think the appropriate punishment would be, let's send him to Gladiator School for a year, and then give him 5 years of probation with a few $1,000 of community service. Or let's copy Singapore and cane him. I'm serious.
We haven't heard the caning in a while. Max, we appreciate the phone call. Take care.
Okay, buddy.
Our great friend Max at KIDO Talk Radio. Kevin Miller in the morning here. Coming up, Sarah Carter explains to us the latest on the FBI scandal. We'll listen to her clip. In addition to that, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, the flu is going around, right? People are getting sick, and people walking around with pneumonia and the like, if you will. You wonder just whether or not getting a flu shot is worthwhile. Now, think about that for a minute at 580-5436. People say, well, at least you have the flu shot. Isn't the flu shot supposed to prevent you from getting the flu?
We're definitely seeing people get very sick from the flu, and we've seen several flu deaths this year as well.
So if the flu and the flu shot doesn't prevent the flu, why get it?
Moving into airborne would move it into a category that would be more difficult to contain potentially.
More on that in a minute. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Phone number is 580-5436, 580-KIDO. So everybody is getting sick here in the Treasure Valley and across the country.
We're definitely seeing people get very sick from the flu, and we've seen several flu deaths this year as well.
Right. Now, last week I was in the urgent care hanging out, and it looked like, well, I guess you could say a hospital ward. Now, you usually go into urgent care, and it's not really a great place on the weekends or the emergency room. It's not where all the hip and happening people are hanging out. In fact, it reminded me of like in the old days when it was, these viruses would be going around in the Asian countries where people would be wearing the masks and stuff. And I go, surely that can't be happening here in the Treasure Valley. And yet you had people with their masks on, miserable, coughing. And, one guy was delirious, yelling and stuff. And I'm going, man, again, I couldn't believe that the flu was so devastating to these individuals. And we see it all the time. And again, it seems to happen every year.
Moving into airborne would move it into a category that would be more difficult to contain potentially.
So, by the way, we got another flu outbreak locally, right? But at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, looking at this objectively, then why do we have flu shots? Well, it's better to get a flu shot than not to get a flu shot. Really? Yes, it's much better to get a flu shot because then you won't get the flu. Well, I'll tell you, there are a lot of people that get the flu and they get the flu shot, right? By the way, school canceled in Cascade amid the flu outbreak. My great friend, Charles, Portico Pharmacy in Meridian. He goes, you getting a flu shot? Nope. When's the last time you got a flu shot? I can't remember. And I think the year I got a flu shot, I got the flu. Now, you have a lot of folks that are, against inoculations, that are against getting shots. And they'll give you all the conspiracy theories. I'm not really down with that, but I just thought to myself, what's the point in getting a flu shot, and do they really work, considering everybody has the flu and everybody's sick, and people literally are walking around with these masks on. Now, I hope it's so they don't contaminate the rest of us, as opposed to, their own safety, right? Maybe they have to. Maybe they can't breathe. I mean, is there anything more frustrating than trying to go to sleep at night and you can't breathe? And then you think to yourself, this is the year 2018. We've got phones that have more power than vehicles we took to the moon and the sun and the stars. Can't we cure the flu? Seems kind of odd. Other topics we're talking about, this unfortunate situation at Eagle High School where you had a student charged in a classroom attack. If convicted, this young man could get 15 years in prison. One student badly hurt, although not life-threatening injuries. The other student seems to be doing a little better. So we'll talk a little bit more about that and school violence. But back to this flu thing. Your thoughts on that at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. 6:24 is our time. Time to take a look at traffic. And let's go to Dan in Boise with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning. Well, I wish it was a better morning. But talking about this flu thing, so I got the flu shot this year. Never have before. Guess what? I've been sick for 2 weeks. And I've raised 3 children. Every time I got them the flu shot, they all got sick. And I never got it. I never got sick. But now, here I am. I can't quit what I'm doing. I got to go to work. And I meet hundreds of people every day. So that means I'm spreading it around everywhere. Awesome.
So if you had to do it all over again, would you get the flu shot?
No. No. What difference does it make? I mean, if you're going to get the flu, you're going to get the flu. But it seems like they give it to me.
Yeah, I got to tell you this. You don't sound very good.
Well, I'm sick.
So what made you decide to get the flu shot to begin with?
Well, see, because we're on this health kick, and I go get a freaking physical every year. I'm almost 52, so I go to the doctor, and my wife calls the doctor and says, "Oh, he needs a flu shot." So the doctor tells me, "You're going to get the flu shot." Well, I'm going to argue with my wife. No. So I get the flu
wait a minute.
shot.
Who wears the pants in the family? You or your wife?
Well, I'll come to her. She can wear them if she wants them. I just go to work, give her my money.
Wow, that's a good deal for her.
No, it's a good deal. We take care of business, but
sure.
I'm just saying that I don't think that it really helps.
Well, I think, again, I think you're a case study. You get the flu shot, you get the flu, and we scare everybody, you better get the flu shot. Well, we've got a flu epidemic running wild, and we got you spreading the flu all over the place now.
Well, that's the thing. I have always had with my coworkers and everything, if you're sick, stay home. But you can't stay home for 2 weeks.
Well, there goes your vacation.
Well, if you got it.
Good point.
You still got to go. And then I see everybody, I'm all over town. So the whole valley.
Well, you're you're spreading the flu virus, huh?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate that, Dan. Thank you for that.
No, I don't appreciate it either. But so maybe the thing is, people should eat more dirt.
Should eat more dirt.
Yeah. Get out and play. Go outside, and then your body will figure it out. That's how you get your antibodies. You don't need a freaking shot.
What, by rolling around in the dirt?
Sure. I'm in it all day.
I've never heard that one before. Well, it didn't help you.
Well, I didn't roll around in the dirt. I got a shot.
I think it's going to be a cold day rolling around in the dirt today, my friend.
It's a little wet, too.
Yeah.
That was my thoughts. I was just saying that I don't think this shot really helps.
Well, what do you do, by the way?
Being out in life and dealing with people all by yourself is more helpful than any vaccine. But I've been vaccinated.
What do you do?
Everything.
What do you do?
I'm an HVAC tech. I build fireplaces.
Boy, these are good times for you in the summer, I would imagine.
I've been busy all the time.
Yeah. Want a good job.
Good.
Yeah. Well, Dan, you take care of yourself, and maybe this weekend you can roll around in the dirt.
You know, I'm hoping to. Maybe I'll string some worms on a hook and get dirty that way.
Dan, thank you for listening to KIDO Talk Radio.
All right. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you. All right, our great friend Dan. Hey, do want to remind you, coming up, it is our State of the Union party. Details coming up soon. We would love to see you there. We're going to have the State of the Union. We're going to be on the air, and we're going to take your calls and be live at the scene. We'd love to see you there. That is this Tuesday coming up at Dave & Buster's. Coming up right after the news, you'll hear how you can be a part of it. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Doug.
Good.
Thank you, Dave Ramsey. Kevin Miller in the morning here at KIDO Talk Radio. Do want to remind you that we're having a poll concerning the lieutenant governors, and that is at KIDOTalkRadio.com. Currently, Senator Hagedorn in the lead, back and forth. So check that out, and we'll continue to give you those results as we move along. If you are just joining us, we're talking a little about the flu and whether or not the flu shots actually work. Yeah, that's right. The flu shots actually work, considering there are so many people in the Treasure Valley across the country that are, in fact, have gotten the flu, right? So, by the way, I do want to thank Dan who called in to let us know that he got a shot and he got the flu. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. By the way, coming up this weekend, we'll be at the Canyon County Kids Expo. I will be there from 10 to 2, I believe, tomorrow at the Ford Idaho Center. Looking forward to seeing you there. You can meet the Paw Patrol. Very exciting stuff. And we will go to a few people in a minute. Looking at phone calls. We'll go to Laura in a minute, New Plymouth. But first, live to Capitol Hill, Rachel Sutherland joining us from Fox News Radio. Rachel, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Kevin.
Now, I've never been to Hawaii. Have you?
No, but it's on my bucket list for sure.
You know, I think it is on every bucket list, everybody's. I'll tell you the advantage that we have out here, because, you know, east of the Great River, it's so far, it's so exotic, but it's actually almost kind of, it's about as far as going from here to D.C. or something of that nature. But
for me, it's a lot farther.
It's like
and more expensive. I've looked into it.
Yeah, here it's relatively cheap, but I was going to say it's like me visiting you. So anyway,
yeah.
I wonder, just kind of off the cuff here. Well, that never happens with us. But I wonder if the price of vacation packages to Hawaii has gone down in light of what happened with that missile incident.
Not that I've seen. I was looking at some seriously because I was thinking about it maybe this year. And so I was looking at air.
Right.
And I thought, well, I mean, maybe I could go, but bringing my kids is what I'd want to do. So, no, as far as airfare is concerned, it hasn't. I haven't checked out the actual hotel packages.
See, you and I thinking alike. There you go. I
think I'm just feeling chilly here in D.C. lately and dreaming of Hawaii.
Apparently, a lot of people in Congress are looking at Hawaii as well.
Absolutely. In fact, the Senate Commerce Committee was taking up the issue of a false alert that went out. And actually, Senator Brian Schatz was in Honolulu at the time, and so he endured the 38 minutes of panic as well. And he has proposed legislation that will make it clear that the federal government should be the ones issuing nuclear alerts, not state and local authorities. Because apparently this employee who sent the alert is refusing to cooperate in the investigation. He's basically telling them to go pound sand while he's been reassigned. Now, why would that be if he just made a mistake? He fat-fingered something. I mean, it's kind of strange, unless he's just trying to hold on to his job. But, yeah, I mean, Schatz is saying that the people of Hawaii were greatly relieved that they weren't goners, but now they're angry that this happened in the first place.
Well, exactly. You have to wonder, though, just one button, and then as you've covered in the past, Rachel, how long it took 40 minutes to say, remain calm, all is well. It was just a false alarm.
Well, you know, you and I, we understand, we cover breaking stories. I think one thing that the public doesn't get immediately is that no one knows what's going on. You would think the government has it all under control and everyone knows what's going on. No. In the first hour or so of a breaking story, nobody knows. It's like the sky is falling, and you have to wait for, it's like the initial fog, and it has to clear. So it doesn't surprise me that no one knew what was going on. And apparently the governor, we'd heard a report, knew it was false, but he couldn't find the password to his Twitter account. I had heard that reported.
It's like that commercial where the guy's going to go to, the space guy's going to go to war, but he can't find his keys.
Yeah.
Rachel, what about the State of the Union? We're a few days away. Any anticipation? We've got the shocking story coming from a couple publications about the president looking to fire the special prosecutor. He denies it, calls it fake news. He's coming home, and then Tuesday night, the big enchilada.
I was just working on a segment for our From Washington show podcast that's going to be happening this week, and on the State of the Union. And it's fascinating because I was going back through different addresses through history. And I recall President Nixon, I found the audio saying that 1 year of Watergate is enough and calling for the investigation of the special counsel to come to a close. And this is in the middle of his 1974 State of the Union address. It just made me wonder, would President Trump address this in the State of the Union? Will he do that? Or will he stay away from it? Also looking back toward President Bill Clinton when he talked about borders, securing the nation's borders and immigration. He sounded really tough on immigration. How will that compare to what President Trump has to say this year about immigration? So it's interesting to look back at what has been said and some of the turns of phrases that come out of the State of the Union and look and try to project what this president will do.
Rachel, anything else we should be looking out for, or is it just the calm before the storm?
Well, as far as State of the Union, calm before the storm, also immigration, the White House has put out a proposal that would give far more illegal immigrants a path to citizenship than just 700,000 Dreamers. It would be 1.8 million. That has not played well with his base, and progressives don't like the plan either. So, but looking for this coming up as well. But right now in D.C., it's all about preparing for the State of the Union.
Rachel, you have a great weekend.
You too.
Our great friend Rachel Sutherland. Kevin Miller in the morning here, talking about the flu. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Let's go to Laura in New Plymouth. Good morning, Laura. You're on KIDO Talk Radio.
Good morning, Kevin. I just wanted to remind all of these listeners that are different strains of the flu, and yes, the flu shot does help. I have been getting the flu shot for 16 years due to having my spleen removed, and some cases of the flu can cause you to die. So you might get sick, but you may not get as sick as if you had not gotten it. So they do need to remember there's different strains of the flu.
Now, Laura, I am not a smart man, as we have revealed many times. My daddy has told me from when I was a young Kay Millie that if I had a brain, I would be dangerous. So what about my logic that people are getting sick and some people are still getting deathly sick from getting the flu, or not from getting, but even though they've gotten the flu shot?
Doesn't necessarily keep you from getting it. From what I've been told from the doctors, it just may keep you from getting as sick. So if you have an immune system such as mine that can't fight it off, I may end up dying from it rather than just being sick from it for a couple of weeks.
Very scary.
So, and there are times where I do wake up and I feel like I have a bug, but I can shake it off in 3 or 4 days where I might not be able to if I had not received the flu shot. So, but there are lots of different strains of the flu, and the shot that was given this year, from my understanding, thought was a good match, and then later they found out that it wasn't. So, and I've also been told in the past that it isn't the flu shot that gives you the flu. You've probably been exposed to it within a couple of weeks of getting your shot, and that's why you're sick. You've already been exposed to the virus.
You would urge people to get the flu shot?
Yes, I would, because then if you don't and you're sick and you go out and you're about and you run into people like myself who have a compromised immune system, then you're setting that person up then to be very sick. And when I first got my spleen removed, the doctors encouraged all family members and all co-workers that I spent a fair amount of time around to have a flu shot.
Laura, we appreciate it. You stay healthy.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin, for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye. KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller in the morning. Let's go to Basil in Boise with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, Kevin. It's good to hear you. I enjoy your program. We are talking about the flu. Question for you. Has anybody done what we call double-blind studies as to the efficacy of the flu shot?
Not that I'm aware of.
Because, the poor guy who got, what was it? He's been sick for 2 weeks, can't go to work. I mean, I feel for the guy. But as, we say, if you have only one data point, you can extrapolate that any way you want. What would really be nice to know is maybe you take 100 people, maybe 200 people. Some get placebo, some get flu shot, and then you see how good is this flu shot. That would be nice studies. Should not be too hard.
I would agree with you. Do you get the flu shot?
I do. I've been lucky. I have not gotten flu, so, but it's all a game of statistics. It's like playing dice or maybe blackjack, You pay your money and you take your chances.
With your health.
Yes, really. In fact, another subject maybe somebody can bring up with regard to flu. There is a concept called herd immunity. And the woman from New Plymouth, I think, was kind of hinting at the idea of herd immunity. Because if you get most of the herd vaccinated, we being the cattle, there is a reduced chance of an unvaccinated person getting sick. So there's a thought for somebody more knowledgeable than you or me, is the concept of herd immunity.
Basil, you take care of yourself.
Okay, thank you for your program, Kevin. I enjoy you.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate you on KIDO Talk Radio. Have a great day, sir.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. The flu, what's it good for? And since the Treasure Valley and everybody else has the flu, do we really need the flu shot? We've had Laura say that yes, certainly if you have a medical condition, and we've had other people say, if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't. What do you say? Your call's next. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio.
KIDO.
Blessed to be part of your day, talking about the flu. Let's go to Liberal Steve with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Liberal Steve.
Good morning, America. What's that noise in the background?
That must be the ringing in your head.
Oh, I hear stuff going on in the background there. But, yeah, it's absolutely ludicrous if an individual does not get the flu shot and protect himself at least 30%. And the HVAC guy, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning and cooling, I think something went to his head. If he actually had the full-blown flu, he wouldn't be talking to you on the phone. If he got the shot, it protected him considerable. It's insane. Let's not get smallpox vaccinations anymore. Let's not get polio vaccinations anymore. Let's not get tested for TB. The insanity behind all that is just absolutely crazy. And the children in Florida that they reported on yesterday.
Isn't there a lot of people locally that do not believe in getting shots and immunizations or anything?
Well, that's fine. Let them go ahead and spread disease. We should be definitely getting the flu shot. You know that, Kevin. Science is here to help us.
I don't. I haven't gotten the flu shot in years.
Yeah, and you've been sick so many times I can't even count it.
I don't know about that one.
Well, come on, and then you come on the air sick too.
I don't believe that. I never get sick.
Kevin, you can still get the flu, and the people that do get the flu, if they actually get the full-blown flu, they could be dead in 2 days, 3 days.
Right.
They'll never make it 10 days.
Well, it sounds like you're a believer in the flu shot.
Well, absolutely. I actually got sick one year, about 12 years ago, when I got the flu shot.
Wait a minute. You got sick when you got the flu shot?
About 12 years ago, one shot did affect me, and I got... What
would have happened if you didn't get the flu shot? Maybe you wouldn't have gotten sick.
No, I would have died. Because I caught the flu immediately after the shot.
Oh.
But the shot protected me.
So you say.
And I mean, I was sick, but it didn't last near as long, and it didn't develop into pneumonia and respiratory problems. And everybody that's got this is dying from pneumonia, not symptoms of the flu.
Well, it sounds like you're a believer.
Well, absolutely. Anybody that's, come on, get the flu shot.
Fair enough.
Stay fired up, Ted.
Thank you. A little upset about that. 6:54 KIDO Talk Radio time. Traffic and weather. Back to your phone calls. John in Nampa with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. How you doing?
Flu-free so far, and you?
Flu-free as well. I don't know. I think the flu shot might affect people in different ways because about 6 or 7 years ago, I stopped getting the flu shot because every time I got the shot, I would immediately get sick about 2 to 3 days later. And ever since then, I haven't had the flu.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, everybody gets the flu shot and then they get sick. What does that mean?
That's just my experience, though. I mean, it might work different for different people, but that's how it worked for me.
So, in other words, though, what would you recommend to people?
I'd say don't get it.
Seems that everybody's scared of the flu.
Well, I mean, they inject a dead virus into your system. It's good for, like, your immune system, I guess, but still, I'd rather not have it in my system either way.
Well, here's another one. Why can't we get something that works?
That would be nice, but then again, you'd have to figure out a way to, a whole new way to vaccinate people, so.
I would agree. John, anything else you'd like to share with us?
No, sir. That's it. Just want to say I enjoy your show and keep it going.
Well, let's hope they keep us around so you can enjoy it. Thank you, John.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. If you're just waking up, we're yapping about the flu today.
We're definitely seeing people get very sick from the flu, and we've seen several flu deaths this year as well.
Not good. Like I said, I started the hour yapping a little bit about being at one of the Saints, urgent care. And I was there with Mrs. Miller. She was sick. So we're in there hanging out. And it was a good time for me. I got a chance to catch up on my book reading. No, not electronic book reading. I actually buy the books, much to the chagrin of the inhabitants of the Miller house that seem to be, there's more books that I don't. Well, anyway, regardless of that, so I'm in there reading a book, and it was almost like an episode out of Seinfeld. You walk in, and you got the kid screaming there and another kid screaming, and nothing against the little kids, but, when they're sick, they're going to let you know about it. And then, again, I thought I was in like Hong Kong or Taiwan or in China, where all of a sudden, they got the air masks on. And I go, am I in Idaho or wherever? And so I'm sitting there watching this stuff, and they're coughing all over me. And finally, Mrs. Miller says to me, shouldn't we move? I said, yeah, I don't want to get contagious. She goes, well, won't they think we're being snobs? I go, I don't know these people. I could care less. And then it hit me, and I've been saving this thought for quite some time, that we're indoctrinated to get the flu shots. And look, we don't want anybody to pass away. We don't want anybody to die. But it's become an industry, it seems. And my thought is that if the flu shot is so effective, then why are so many people getting the flu? And in Cascade, you'll love this, they shut down the schools. That's right. They shut down the schools because of the flu. Saying ain't so. Now, if they'd shut down the ice sculpting in McCall, now that would be something. And by the way, big fireworks, a lot of things going on in McCall, the Winter Carnival and such. Although I found it, you kind of walk around in the cold and you see the ice sculptings, and that's really about it. Well, there's fireworks. Well, never mind. So we'll continue on our conversation concerning the flu coming up. Also, is there a deal on DACA? The president says he's going to let these kids stay, 1.8 million, something like that, where Obama wanted to only give 800,000 people the amnesty. Crazy times. The president was going to fire the special prosecutor. He calls it fake news. We'll find out what you call it next. Hey, thank you sincerely for starting your day with us. A couple hours left. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.